feminist heroes can be tricky, especially when you get emails from BTT fans in Scotland about how evil she is. You're watching Beyond the Trailers review of The Iron Lady.
The Falkland Islands belong to Britain, and I want them back.
With all due respect, when one has been to war.
With all due respect, sir, I have done battle every single day of my life.
She heads the most hated government this country has known.
Now, as an American, The Iron Lady looks like an inspiring true story of a woman who overcame tremendous odds to become the first female Prime Minister of England. That's a great story, and the film has been receiving even more attention for Meryl Streep's performance, where she brings another truly unique woman to life as she did Julia Child. She's even tipped to win the Oscar yet again for her work on this film. But just how true is this true story? I'm not going to pretend to know the history of Margaret Thatcher's time in office in detail, but I do know she was a very controversial leader, seemingly England's George W. Bush, if you will. And while both have their serious detractors, they also have serious supporters. That means it's up to a movie like The Iron Lady to strive to be even-handed and fair. In fact, it has to be even-handed and fair, as it would be inexcusable to skirt the issues and the actions of Thatcher that affected so many. BTT viewer Scott Blair from Scotland wrote me that Thatcher nearly destroyed his country. And while one could certainly argue politics with Mr. Blair, there is no denying his deep personal feelings on the matter, as well as the fact his family lost jobs due to Thatcher. And no one can also deny, though, that what Thatcher accomplished, especially as a woman, is worth noting, the good and the bad. See, that's the trouble with real-life heroes. They are never black and white, and we must fight against our need to make them so. Now let's go find out if the Iron Lady won that battle. So today we're doing a BTT crew review for the Iron Lady.
Well, I enjoyed it. Thought it was above average, pretty good.
I really liked The Iron Lady. I thought that all of the performances throughout the entire movie were really, really spectacular. And Meryl Streep did, obviously, a really phenomenal job.
Some people are saying it's an actor's showcase, and it is an actor's showcase, but all I could think while I was watching it was how lucky Margaret Thatcher is that Meryl Streep is the one who played her on film.
Like, she does the entire span of a lifetime and how people change over time. And she totally is believable in every step.
The special effects makeup to make Meryl Streep look older, I thought that was, like, incredible. There was, like, a good portion of time where I really thought that maybe it was someone else that was related to Meryl Streep because she looked like such a convincing older woman.
A lot of times you see actors today like Kate Winslet in The Reader and Leonardo DiCaprio and J. Edgar, and they have old person makeup on, but you're just like, oh, you're just under a bunch of latex, that's ridiculous. Meryl Streep, you couldn't tell that it wasn't real.
This could definitely get Meryl Streep an Oscar. I mean, she really works hard, and it feels a little bit like it's Oscar bait, but I think it's well deserved.
People always say Meryl Streep is the best actress working today, and sometimes when she makes movies where she played Julia Child, it seems a little bit like caricature. But when she makes a movie like this, she just really proves that she stands on her own. I don't think anybody working today who can touch her. This was just such a layered, excellent performance.
I thought there were a couple times throughout the story when there wasn't a lot of incentive to kind of stick with it. It was a really good, as Grace said, it was a really good character study, but there were a few times when I was kind of wondering, you know, why exactly I was watching it.
I wasn't expecting to like it at all, and it starts to drag near the end. I think pushing 2 hours is a little excessive for a movie like this, but overall I think it's done in an interesting way, and it keeps your attention.
The nice thing about this film is that it was the most unflinching, honest portrayal of a regular, real woman that I've ever seen on film. I think that Hollywood usually tries to sex it up and glamorize it, or doesn't really understand where you watch it and you go, oh, that's not what a woman would do, or that's not how the woman's mind works. I thought this was just so great and brilliant, and that it was just flaws and all. You really saw what women are, what a particular woman is like.
I think as far as when Margaret Thatcher was running for office and she kind of had to prove herself as a woman and deal with the struggles of, you know, being an authoritative figure in kind of a man's world, I thought that was really interesting, and I think that probably any woman can relate to kind of what they talked about with her being like, you know, too worked up and stuff like that.
This movie is directed by a woman, written by a woman, I believe edited by a woman. You have a great actress, female actress in the lead role, and I think it was a big step forward for women making movies.
I wasn't like overpowered by just feminism in your face, hitting you over the head with, we can do it too. It was I think it was kind of a universal inspirational movie.
I think if you're a Meryl Streep fan, you will absolutely love this movie. I would definitely recommend it to pretty much anyone.
History buffs, women, people who are looking for an inspirational movie, just it has a few different audiences that it could get. It's an interesting movie.
It covered two areas that I think don't get a lot of respect in film, and that's women and older people. So I was really impressed.
On a scale from 1 to 10, I would give it an 8.5.
I would give this movie a 9.
Probably give it an 8.
So overall, we give The Iron Lady an 8.5. And I'm honored to be part of the second annual You Reviewers Awards here on YouTube, spearheaded by the Schmoes and Jeremy Johns. Stay tuned to find out what we movie critics here on YouTube feel are the best films of 2011. I'm Grace Randolph, reporting from Real Ewok, and I hope you'll go beyond the trailer for these other top movies.